you guys? Thought I'd do a quick check-in. Let's dive right in. All right, we are getting Four of Swords reversed for like the 15th time this week, Two of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands now reversed. Yesterday it was upright. And then the Sun upside down. Okay, before I say anything, let me pull 3 of these oracle cards from the Pleasure Oracle. With Four of Swords reversed, we're getting Sacred Senses reversed. Two of Pentacles, we're getting Erotic Abundance. And with this Eight of Wands reversed, we're getting There is Only Now. Okay. That Holy Fire card is here under the deck for like the 3rd time this week. All right, let me get oracle cards here. All right, first section we're getting Dakini, the Enlightened Feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me, but it's in the reverse. Two of Pentacles, we're getting the Warrior Saint. I am a warrior of love. My devotion attracts resources and support. That's in the upright with Erotic Abundance. So that's interesting because we're getting a card about devotion attracting resources and abundance together. And then lastly, we are getting Mistress of the Labyrinth reversed. It says, my soul knows the way and the only way out is through. There is a lot, this has been coming up in the reverse. There is a lot of resistance to moving through some particular lesson right now. Okay, under the deck, also this card over and over, the Pontiff of Possibilities. It says, the possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. But that's coming with the Sun reversed, and even Holy Fire, which is another like fiery red card. It's like not knowing how to actually like tap into your life force and become an instrument for change. But it's like your physical body is your vessel for transformation, empowerment, alchemy, and all the things. But you know, we live in a society that intellectualizes everything and avoids the body. This is why I do embodiment practices in addition to meditation and things, because I think it's so crucial that you need to get out of your head. And even some people out there who meditate every day are disembodied. They're not connected with their body. They're still living from the neck up. So that is a repetitive message, but that's good because if that's true for you guys, you're in the right place. Like, I can support you with that. But Sun in the reverse is also like not feeling happy. Because this in the upright is a card about happiness and joy and contentment and fulfillment. Because the card, you know, after this one is Judgment and then the World. So it's very close to the end of the major arcana, close to the end of a cycle. But it's like you're not feeling content right now. And part of the reason why is because number one, your scope is still very narrow. It's like your logical brain can only see a fraction of what's possible. And you have to remind yourself, no matter how much scarcity, because you're probably experiencing scarcity in some form. It could be material, financial, it could be other forms. But when you feel lack, and that's like in your mindset, then you grasp to the first thing that you can find, or you hold on to things that aren't serving you anymore. And it's like, you can attract way more resources and support and abundance when you're devoted to the things that actually matter to you, the things that you actually desire. But when we're in lack, it's like we'll take a breadcrumb, we'll hold on to the thing that's shitty, we'll stay in the situation that we know damn well isn't serving us anymore, because we're afraid that if we let that go, nothing's going to come and take its place. And it couldn't be further from the truth, because by universal law, space is a vacuum. Space attracts. But if you don't have space, or you don't leave enough space for something new to come in, or you refuse to let go of what you're grasping and clinging to, how can something else come? So if it's money, if you're like, for example, I'm just using this as an example, like I've met people who are clinging to a really, and I've been through this too, like a really crappy job, and I get it, because when you have bills coming in, you need money. So it's like they hang on to this shitty job where they're overworked and underpaid, because they're like, well, I'm afraid that if I don't, maybe they're not even looking elsewhere, or maybe you're looking, but you're like afraid to let one thing go to let the other thing come. But there usually comes a point of tension where the string's about to break, and it's like you have to let something go. Something's got to give. It's almost like a boomerang, and you're pulling that arrow back, and then you finally get to that point of tension. It's like, and then it can shoot forward, but it's like you had to let go of it for it to propel forward with momentum. And you probably need to create space, but you're juggling too many things, or you're holding on. Or for example, a lot of people come to me and they want to be in a relationship, but they're in one now, and they will not walk away from the shitty, unhealthy, whatever relationship in order to make the space. They want something to come in and take the place, but they're not actually available, and then they're resentful because nothing's coming to meet them. But it's like, you don't have any space. You have no space. You're not an option. Like, a healthy person that's being pursued by a person who's in a relationship is not going to enable that person to come dip their toes in your water when they're still in something, and let's say you're single and they're not. You guys, I see this a lot in my business. That's why I'm sharing this example. And I've been in this situation too, where it's like, you're single and available, and maybe you're healing and things are improving for you, and someone else wants to be with you, but it's like they don't want to let go of their comfort zone. It's almost like they want to have the backup plan fully in place before they step away from the other situation. But like, that's not fair to the person who's alone, because it's like the person who's refusing to let go or who's still juggling wants guarantees, but then they're not making a sacrifice as well. Do you know what I mean? Something's got to give. Like, healthy people aren't going to enable that. Healthy people are going to be like, okay, you're not happy in your relationship, but if you want to be in a relationship with me, something's got to give. We can't form a healthy bond and start creating something new when you're still in another relationship. It doesn't work like that, you guys. If you're doing that, good luck. You know, been there, done that. It doesn't work out too well. Almost never. Unless, like I said, you struggle with being alone, or, you know, you want to be codependent. That's a whole other story. But if you want a healthy connection, you're probably going to need to let something go and create that spaciousness so that a healthier thing can form. But it's like you're teeter-tottering on the seesaw, and until something falls off the seesaw, you guys, you're just going to be going back and forth in the same cycles. Something that you're juggling is the reason why the other abundance that you're desiring isn't able to come in, because your hands are full. So first and foremost, with this Four of Swords reversed, again, there's a need to rest and do some introspection, but being busy all the time and being overcommitted and not having any space to think or reflect or contemplate, you know, is leading you to feel confused. It's like, really, you're just not listening to your intuition. It says here, my gut instinct is beyond reason, and I trust my intuition to guide me. But if you're not listening to your intuition, or you don't have some space to actually hear it, so for me, that's my meditation practice and also my walks. Like, sometimes I walk, no phone, no music. I just walk, just to be receptive, just to be open, just to listen and pay attention to what I'm experiencing, just to be present, you know? So there's a need for that. And we're getting also sacred senses, interestingly enough. And it says that our senses are sacred, and when they unite, they can take a so-so encounter into a transcendent one. But again, this is about being in touch with all of your senses. These cards are about like love and pleasure, but you know, when you think about it, it's like, if, like I was saying in the beginning, if you're like disembodied and you're not in touch with your body, and you're from the neck up, then some of the ways that you receive intuitive messages are going to be through sensation or through different senses. Like, sometimes I get like a tingle, or I mean, for me, I'm very clairvoyant, so actually I see things like in my mind's eye, but I pick up energy, I feel things, I sense things. Sometimes I get all kinds of physical sensations, even like uncomfortable ones, but it's like your body is a receiver. So really, you just want to create the conditions for your body to be able to open up and receive. As I said already in the middle here, this abundance, it says, suffering stems from our illusions of separation, thinking that we're separate from source, from self, and from each other. This is very Buddhist. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Like, we have everything we need in like higher truth within. So it's saying abundance is often conceptualized in relation to money only. But look beyond just money. Like, abundance is knowing that the most essential things in life are actually free, and living that truth. And it says, pleasure is your birthright. And it says, you know, no matter how much you try to avoid it or resist it, erotic abundance is not going anywhere. Make sure that you count your blessings daily. Like, This is very much like a mindset shift of looking for what's already going well. And what are you actually devoted to? Like I said, the juggling card is really just giving me there's no space for anything new. And whatever it is that you're holding on to, like, how is that actually serving you? Again, the crappy job that pays your bills, but you're miserable and sick and drained and burned out. The relationship that is a comfort zone and it's safe in the fact that maybe the other person's never going to leave you, but you don't have intimacy or you don't feel connected, you feel lonely or whatever. You're not, you don't touch each other anymore. You're not into it anymore. The feelings are not mutual, but it's like, but you won't leave. Or fill in the blanks, right? Like there's so many other ways that we can grasp to what is a breadcrumb, metaphorical, when the universe wants to give us a buffet. But it's like your hands are full, your mouth is closed, you're like, I'll just keep what I have because it's what I know. I'm too scared to take a risk. But it's sad because I'm not saying that it's easy because I have definitely taken huge leaps of faith at times and it's been terrifying. At the same time, none of the blessings would have come after if I had stayed in the mediocre situations, but that does take a mindset that's willing to take risks and that's willing to face uncomfortable things. And lastly here, we're getting, this resistance to change. It's saying, my soul knows the way and the only way is through, but the movement card is reversed now. It's in the reverse. It's like things are not moving. Things are not progressing quickly forward as they might be once you're open and available to it. And it is saying there's only now. Yesterday was heavy, put it down. Grabbing onto the past or tripping out about the future is like putting your consciousness on a rocket ship and blasting it out of the present moment. As I was saying with sacred senses, there's something here about not being present, and if you can be more present to what you're feeling and what you actually desire, like you start to tap into the deeper yearnings, and also then you can really start to listen to what your intuition wants to guide you to do. And even if it is a really scary step, you're like, you feel conviction there. You're like, but I feel really strongly about this to the point that it's worth it. But again, risk versus reward, you guys. We all resist change because it's human nature. But on this spiritual path, and if you found me, if you're averse to change, I'm not the one for you. You can watch my videos, you can listen if you like to, but working with me means you're going to definitely, transformation is almost guaranteed because I walk that talk of doing the hard things, taking the scary steps, letting go, making space. I've lived it, you guys. I've gone through a lot of challenges, a lot of ebbs and flows, ups and downs. But what I can promise you is that when you're brave enough to open up to what you actually deserve in life and the things you actually desire, you will be amazed. The possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. But if you've got a lack mindset or you're really stuck in scarcity, then that's going to sound like crazy town. But it isn't. But I have been in both places. So it also says here, a stressful inner monologue is understandable, especially when you're uncomfortable. But if you're not doing something about it, you're giving away your power. And it says, would you want to see someone that you love denied their birthright of abundance, love, pleasure, or whatever it is? Would you? Think about it if it's your kid. Do you want to see your kid settle for less? Not do the hard things because it's too scary, not take the risks, never get out of their comfort zone, never fall down? If you really love somebody, you're like, no, you deserve it. But to have it, you've got to face your fears. But you also are capable. You've got this. But if you keep giving your power away, well, do you know what I mean? It's a fucking bottomless pit. So it's saying to be in the now, because if you have a lot of anxiety and you have a tendency to catastrophize or always go to the worst case scenario, or again, you never feel like you have enough. Because again, we've all grown up differently. Maybe you grew up with a lot of challenges. Maybe you didn't have a lot of money. Maybe support was hard to come by. Maybe you saw people get things but really suffer for them. And you've carried that with you. But this is just telling you, you can trust your intuition. It is guiding you. And there's way more possible than you realize. But something's got to give. I'm naming the reading that because that's it. Something's got to give. To receive something, endings have to happen before you can have a new beginning. So really think about that. Why are your hands full and what are they full of, and what do you really want? Because when you start to move in the direction of what you actually desire and you truly go all in and you put both feet in, even if that's just your intention, then you take one small step today, then you take another step tomorrow. I remember, I'll just tell you this quick story before I go because I gotta run. I remember during a couple of years back, I had a very weird shift happen in my life and I needed to move unexpectedly. And I was like, how the fuck is it going to happen? I don't think I have enough money. Like, how am I going to make it happen? I had all these limiting beliefs because I had no idea. But you know what? In spite of it, I was like, well, I have a little bit of money saved. Let me just look online. I'll just start looking. I don't know how the hell it's going to work out, but I'm just going to start to look. And I remember I looked on Zillow. I literally, from like not knowing how it was going to happen to having basically like almost signing the lease, it was like less than 72 hours. And I ended up finding a person, and it was like by owner, so I didn't have to show any of my financials, even though I had the rent. I had enough for the rent. That's about it. For like a couple of months. And I'm like, it's like almost Airbnb, but it was on Zillow. Great, I'll go for a few months. I have the cash, I can pay for the rent. If she needs to see that I can cover the 6 months or whatever, I'll do that. She didn't ask for anything, you guys. And I was able, and it was completely furnished, so I didn't have to bring anything, just a few little things of my own. And then I ended up leaving early anyway, because she needed the apartment back. So like I was able to leave when I needed to, almost immediately. It came to me super fast, but would that have happened if I didn't go on Zillow? Would it have happened if I hadn't said, you know what, I don't have tons of cash, but I have just enough to make this little choice. Why don't I just go in that direction? And it literally worked out perfectly, and I didn't even have to stay the full time, saved a little bit of money. And then after that, I ended up moving up here, where I am now. And like, you know what I mean? I made a much bigger change after that, but that was like my first step towards change and moving further away, but I wasn't ready for the long distance move yet, so I made like a smaller one, and then it catapulted me because I did like a quantum leap after that. But I had to like go in the direction of what I desired and go put both feet in that direction. So I'll leave you with that. If this is sparking something, you're like, ooh, but you want personal guidance, you can book an intuitive reading below, 90 minutes. I give you clarity, breakthroughs, all the things in the call, but then I'll also give you follow-up resources to use so you can keep the momentum going. I'm not going to leave you on a cliffhanger. Like, I'll give you guided meditations and things that you can utilize specific to what comes up in your reading so that you can keep going without me. And that is all, you guys. Everything else that I'm offering is listed below. I do have the waitlist open for Magdalene Mysteries. I won't get into it here. You can read about it below, but that is a women's group for a year long. And we're diving into all sorts of juicy things. But again, we will be going into sex, money, power. That's part of the curriculum for the year. It's for women on the path of sacred union. So details for that are below. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon in the next one. Love ya.